the way, of the Dyslexia Duo podcast. And we have our first guest of the morning. So I'm going to let Rachel introduce herself.
I'm going to try to get from behind the pole. I don't know which way to go.
I know, right? This is just not great.
Yeah, that's
fine.
There. That's fine.
But Amy's not in it, so
Yeah.
Amy, scooch over.
Okay, I'm good.
We'll figure it out. It's okay. My name is Rachel Harvey. I am a certified academic language therapist. I'm here at IDA in Atlanta. I'm really excited. I love this city and I really like this conference. So I'm excited to be here. I work at a very small private school for kids with dyslexia in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We've got about 200 kids, K through 12. And it's great. Really, really love our sweet little school. Really love being a CALT, and I love the work that I get to do.
So what's your presentation? Sorry, jumped the gun a little bit. What's your presentation about?
Yeah, my presentation is about morphology within the context of mathematics. And how teaching kids morphology in math can actually strengthen their ability to work with numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I've heard so many people wanting more information about morphology. Now, I have not heard that there's a focus on morphology in math. So can you explain that a little bit?
There isn't a focus on morphology in math, and
there needs to be one.
There should be one. There should be one. What made me realize that language was important in mathematics, tell a quick story. I was teaching second grade, and I was teaching my kids about repeated addition and arrays because it was second grade. We're leading up to multiplication, but not actually teaching them multiplication. And I had a student, his name was Tremaine, and he helped everybody realize what the word problem was asking. The word problem was something along the lines of Jimmy and Sally both have 9 brownies in their pan. How many brownies do they have in all? And my entire class of kids, they were just stuck because they're used to a word problem having 2 numbers. And I realized in that moment, they don't know that both means 2.
Oh, yeah.
So I helped them work through, I was like, okay, both of you come stand in the front of the class. And all of the kids were like, who, me? I was like, both of you. And then 4 kids came to the front of the class. And Tremaine said, no, he needs to go sit down. And I said, why does he need to go sit down? And he said, because you said both. Not all, you said both. And I said, okay. So one kid went and sat down. He was like, no, she needs to sit down too. And he was like adamant, about saying
so
he understood that this is not both, And he said, both means 2, me and somebody else, both of us, not all of y'all. So that helped me realize they really need help with language and math. And then once I started working in a space where all of the kids are learning different, they've got dyslexia, developmental language disorder, dyscalculia, I realized, they're not understanding that multi means many. Mm-hmm. They're not understanding that shun is the result of. And you can normally tell when you ask them a question, what operation are you going to use, addition or subtraction? And they say, plus, because they don't understand what these word parts mean.
You're right. I've heard that kids do that.
They do that
too.
They do
You're
that.
Right.
Yeah, they do. They'll say, I'm going to plus or I'm going to minus.
Yes.
Because they're struggling with the language of the mathematics. So when I look at evals for kids and they're diagnosed with developmental language disorder and dyscalculia, but their math fluency is okay, I sometimes wonder, I think the language disorder is what's causing them to struggle in math, they have number sense, but they don't understand the language. So that's kind of where I landed here. That's how I landed on that presentation topic.
It's so needed.
Yeah.
It's really awesome that you've honed in on that. And so what are you doing as your presentation?
Well, it's a poster, so I've got a lot of information on there. I've got a lot of resources. I've got some really cool pictures of what I like to use in my class. Mm-hmm. I like to take actually use the MZ morphology pages. Am I allowed to say that?
Sure.
Okay. I use the MZ morphology pages, and then I shrink them down to 4 on a page to make them small enough to put on an index card. So the front of it has a picture, the morpheme, the meaning, and then on the back, we do some work with that. Okay, we're going to talk about what it means. We're going to talk about some word examples that we can have. Here's a picture that will help you remember. So when I'm starting to work with my kids on multiplication and they write an addition sign, I'll say, okay, What is the purpose of multiplication? We have many things that we are trying to find a total of. If we add, it's going to take too long. Multi means many, a lot. And they're like, oh, I should multiply because that's going to be more efficient. So helping them connect
That's cool.
the word meanings has been really helpful.
You really need to talk to Mary McFarland. She's also
Oh.
big in
and Marilyn
morphology.
Zetter's here too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Some of the teachers at our school have gone through Marilyn Zetter's training. That was before I got there, but they found that to be extremely helpful.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, there's a group called Morphology Teachers Hub.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a great place for you to share resources with other teachers about what you're learning, what you know. It's fabulous.
I find that morphology structure that I'm using in math, it also works for other subject areas. I contacted our high school science teacher because her classes are hard. Everybody knows that when you get to those classes, they're hard. And she gave me all of the materials for her class so that when I'm in my regular reading therapy class, I can say, okay, y'all are focusing on this in Miss P's physical science class for now. What does this mean? I want you to take this card. I want you to remember that when you get to her class, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, and that's really helping them in other content areas, like big time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that morphology is kind of like a redheaded stepchild.
It shouldn't be,
the
though.
Literacy debate, but it is or not debate, but like in the literacy world, but it is, I don't want to say it's more important. I don't think that it's more important than the things that happen in that kindergarten, first, second grade space. Early literacy is my jam. I taught first and second grade before I became a CALT. But when people who are in upper elementary and middle school and high school ask me, what does evidence-based instruction look like for these older kids, I cannot stress morphology instruction.
No, I totally, completely agree. I don't think necessarily it's the redheaded stepchild. I think we're realizing just how important it is now. And so Rachel and I have done a couple of trainings together. We went through retraining virtually for Take 5. It's last go around, my third go around for doing that. And then she sat in on my training for Jeff. So I think it's interesting because you're just, I don't want to say the word sound wrong, but you really have gotten a hold of all this and you've run with it. But you were saying that being an educator wasn't your first career. What was your first career?
It wasn't. I have a music performance degree. I'm a classically trained clarinetist. I got that degree from LSU. Go Tigers. I have to say that.
What is it? The GEUAX.
GEAUX. Right? Go Tigers. Okay. But at the time that I was finishing up college, I studied music education and music performance, decided to forego student teaching for music education because I realized that a lot of my friends who had graduated previously were coming back to grad school in droves. And what was happening was school systems were cutting funding for music programs to be able to fund STEM programs. And that's kind of shifted a good bit. Like there are more jobs for people who want to be in music education. But in the meantime, I did some other things. I played a lot of music and in different places, and then decided I can be a first grade. I can do that. I'll teach first grade. So I became alternatively certified. And during that process, I went to a lot of conferences. I went to Plain Talk. That was amazing.
That is amazing.
Plain Talk is a great conference, which is easy for me to get to. It's in New Orleans.
Every year.
It's kind of down the street, So went to Plain Talk and realized, like, okay, I'm in it for the underdogs, and the underdogs are almost always the dyslexic kids because they are brilliant. We know that they're brilliant. So they're not struggling so much that they're getting a ton of attention, but they're also not doing so well that they're getting a ton of attention. They're just kind of in this middle ground, slipping through the cracks. And that's when after 3 or 4 years in the public education system, I decided to go ahead and get my master's degree in dyslexia therapy. And I did that through the University of Southern Mississippi. So I got my training in the association method. And then I got the job that I have now where I am working with children with dyslexia and language disorders all day.
So what's your future plans?
I really want to become a CALT QI. I do want to do that. I also want a PhD. I want
I
to get a
do too.
PhD.
We should go do this together. Where are you looking?
Because I'm looking at so many places right now, because I actually want to get a PhD in either neuroscience or psychology.
Oh my.
Because I am a geek about evals and reports
I
and
love that.
the way the brain is processing things and assessments, and it's kind of like a puzzle. It's like figuring out what's going on in this brilliant kid's brain, right? So I want to be able to do that so that I can be a part of the diagnosing side
Yes.
of this. And I find that everybody doesn't have access to like to evals. They're expensive and they're not always covered by insurance. So it's something that I've always wanted to do, because I know so many kids in so many areas who need good evals but can't always get them. It's always a fight to try to get one through pupil appraisal with the public education system, especially in Louisiana. And there's work that's being done to help that. You know, we've got a lot of dyslexia legislation, which is really good. DGNA's been great about that. But that's my end game. I definitely want to be a CALT QI, because I really like helping teachers understand the importance of this work and helping kids while they're in their classroom. But I want to eventually be able to diagnose.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, you've got such great. You're on the right track for it. I love your future goals. It kind of becomes the lines with mine a little bit, but I kind of love all that. So very excited. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you and said, "Hey Rachel, I really want to see your poster presentation," how can they get a hold of you?
At the conference or elsewhere?
Outside.
In general.
Outside in general, I am on LinkedIn as my first and last name, Rachel Harvey. I just started a new Instagram page called Dyslexic by Design,
Okay.
which is really fun. It's going to have a lot of things about advocacy on there, facts about dyslexia, how to get in touch with me for CALT therapy, because that's something that I'm starting to offer virtually. So that's how you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at Dyslexic by Design. You can find me on LinkedIn as Rachel Harvey. If you are in the South Louisiana space, I also run a Facebook page called River Parish's Dyslexia Support, because we don't have counties in Louisiana, we have parishes. So anybody that's near that area, somewhere around the Mississippi River in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, for the most part, you can join the Facebook group, and there's a lot of information there.
You and I have something in common. I also played the clarinet.
Oh,
I'm not classically trained like you, but I still love the sound of the clarinet.
I love it.
I have there's some kind of Mozart song that it's on my playlist, and I love
The
every
Mozart
time.
Clarinet Concerto?
Yes, I love that so much. I bet you play it like a pro.
Not like a pro. That is one of the hardest pieces ever. I know people who study that piece for their entire career, and it
Really,
never gets old. Yes.
Oh.
It's hard.
it's
Hard.
beautiful.
I've studied it, but it's beautiful. I like to play Brahms more than Mozart.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now,
moodier.
do you ever play?
I do.
still?
I am actually in a community band. I'm in the Baton Rouge concert band. We rehearse every Tuesday, and we put on concerts like 3 or 4 times a year. It's so much fun. It's a good way to like decompress.
Yes.
And just go to rehearsal on Tuesday, play through some really fun music,
Uh-huh.
and put on a concert. The concert's always free. It's always at the library. It's awesome. It's family friendly. The kids are always running around. They always want to, learn about the instruments and, ask a trumpet player if they can play their trumpet for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and haven't you
It's
heard
great.
about how music plays such a huge role in language development as well?
Yes, it does. And one of the things that I tell people is one of the issues that a lot of schools have is if they're going to give kids interventions, they normally pull them out of
Yes, all their
music,
fun classes.
all the electives. And believe it or not, I used to be the kind of person who thought it's okay to do that. If the kid can't read, it's okay that they don't go to music class. It's okay that they don't go to art. But now I realize that it is very important for them to be involved in things other than their regular core classes for 2 reasons. One, they need to use their whole brain, and they're going to use their whole brain in a music and art class.
Mhm.
Like, they need all of it. But also, for the sake of just this kid's overall development as a human, I mean, imagine what it was like if the only thing you were doing at school all day was the thing that was hard for you.
Right.
It feels like a punishment,
Right.
I have a student who I see one-on-one at school, and she's doing Take Flight. and she got to speak at the Plain Talk for Dyslexia conference in Baton Rouge. And the question was, what would you recommend? What should teachers know, as they're trying to help dyslexic kids? And she said, don't take us out of art, and don't take us out of music.
Yeah.
Don't take us out of PE. Don't do that, because we enjoy those.
And
And we should
thrive
have the chance to do something that we enjoy at school. School is really hard for us. Let us do that. And she always says, like, that's my win for the day. When I go to art, that's my win.
Aw.
I
And-
agree, and I think there should be legislation out there about when kids should come to learn dyslexia classes.
Yes,
Because like in secondary, they have to lose their elective.
they do.
That's
Yeah.
that's their football, that's their sports, that's their music,
Yeah.
whatever. That's not fair.
It's not. Even when I see kids privately, I always tell parents to let me know, like, is your child in any extracurricular activities? Because I have some parents who were like, he will quit soccer so that he can learn how to read. And I say, he will not. I can try something else with him. He needs that. He should be able to do that. He should be able to have a full life, because he's a kid, and kids deserve that. I will say one thing that happened, though, because people were using recess time in
Yeah.
Louisiana for
Oh, yeah.
interventions.
Texas.
So Dr. Brumley, our superintendent, headed up some legislation. It's illegal to do that. They have to have recess
That's good.
every single day. You cannot pull them for interventions. They need it. They
At
need it.
recess.
They need it.
Okay, so just to finish out, I play piano and guitar and trumpet and French horn and baritone in high school. I'm not even, last year,
Last chair is still a chair. You're there.
if they could invent like a negative chair, I would have put me.
So you're saying we could have a whole band?
I could be a band
We
by
could
myself.
we could be
She could be the lead. We'll just be the backup.
yeah, we could do that. We could have a small chamber
I've
group.
lived the band life with my husband.
Okay.
I'm good.
So we could do a quartet.
Yes.
We could do a quartet. That would be fun.
Yeah. I'll just use my son's old clarinet.
I've got to
Get some new reeds.
yes. Not the plastic ones.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And not the nasty,
Oh,
been
yeah.
there in his box for 6 years reeds.
Yeah.
I see old wind instruments and things like trumpets and trombones for sale and like secondhand shops. I'm like, oh,
What's been in that?
Yeah.
What's been in that?
No, we're not doing that.
it was so nice talking.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
good talking with y'all too. This is great.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
Okay, guys, we'll be back in a little bit.
Bye.
That was fun.
I had an idea. Maybe if you angled